Hi everybody, this is my third video on using Melanotan. I got sent a question there by a guy named Stewie who was asking me when I started taking Melanotan. I started taking it like mid-September. I I looked at stuff on forums, and it suggested that someone of about my body weight, I'm about 165 to 170 pounds. It says someone about my body weight. Uh, they were saying should take about zero point 0.7 milligram injections every day. So I worked myself up to that over about a week. I started with about half that, and I just worked up over the week, just increasing it slightly up to 0.7 milligrams. And that's still what I inject every day. That amount. I might think of increasing it slightly to maybe 0.8. What else? Yeah. Stewie also asked me just side effects, things like that, stuff that I've noticed. I've said before in the last video, like, the most obvious kind of side effect is kind of certain freckles on your body getting darker. That's probably kind of the most annoying thing. But it's only certain freckles. It's not like all your freckles get darker. It seems to be just certain ones. It's kind of weird that way. Like that one on my hand there, and that one, and I have other ones like one on my thigh, and I've one kind of a big one there in my back of my shoulder, and I've a really really dark one on the sole of my foot, but like no one sees that really. So yeah, you'll have maybe 15 to 20 freckles, I would say, on your body. Well, if you're someone who has a lot of freckles, you'll probably notice about 15 to 20 of them. Big kind of ones, just kind of getting darker and darker. As I said, like, it depends where they are, like, you know what I mean? If you've certain dark freckles, like I remember looking in the mirror one time and I thought I saw freckles kind of here that were like really faint, and it looked to me like they were kind of coming back and getting darker. But having looked again, I don't really have actually I have one freckle here, kind of on my jawline. I can't really see it because that's like there, like that. That's fairly noticeable, but it's the only one. It's the only one on my whole face that's really noticeable. Everywhere else, I don't really have freckles on my face. So, as I said, for me, it's not too big an issue. Like, I don't know, I might look into in the future, seeing if there's any kind of treatment that's not too expensive to kind of maybe remove a freckle here or there or something like that. Sorry, another thing, the color of my skin in the videos, it looks a little paler and a little more pinky than it kind of actually does, I think. What else? Other side effects. I've seen on some forums people talking about they seem to seem kind of there's an unevenness of tan, and I've kind of noticed that. The areas of your body that are usually more exposed to sun do kind of seem to be more affected and hold the color and the tan better than the rest of your body. Like, I've noticed that the first place I kind of noticed it was in my hands. The backs of my hands, they were kind of more sallow and more tanned than usual, and they're still like that. And kind of forearms are kind of holding the tan nicely. My neck, my face a bit, neck and kind of upper back, and sometimes kind of around where you inject, sometimes seems slightly more tanned than, say, like, your chest or your lower back or your thighs or your calves. Those areas, it seems the areas that get sun the least, they seem to have changed the least. So, as I said before, I would imagine, like, as well, it seems like the effect of the melanotan just kind of like, it kind of plateaus and kind of evens off. It's almost like, when I look at myself in the mirror now, I don't really look any different than I did like a month ago or 5 weeks ago, when I was only on the Melanotan, say 5 or 6 weeks, rather than now, which is like 9 to 10 weeks. I look fairly similar, and I would say that, like, to get the most out of the Melanotan, if you want to really kind of, if you want a strong kind of all over tan, like, the Melanotan is important because it helps you tan better, but I would think you need to be getting regular sun exposure, or else having, like, maybe 2 or even 3 kind of short sunbed sessions a week. Otherwise, I don't think you're really getting the most out of it. And right now, I'm kind of just happy with not, like, I live in Ireland and there's not much sun, and if there is sun, it's not that intense at this time of year. So, um, you're not going to get, like, you're not going to get much from the sun. Um, but at the same time, it's so cold and you're not showing off any of your body, so people aren't really going to see your legs or your forearms or anyway. So I'm not that, doesn't bother me that much right now. But coming into the spring and into the summer, obviously I'd be thinking about getting sun exposure, maybe maybe getting some sunbed sessions just to kind of bring the tan out, just to kind of get that exposure on the skin. Um, yeah, what else? That's it, really. I saw on some forums people talking about, no, sometimes when they came off the melanotan, they saw like some little white dots in certain parts of the skin. I noticed that one day, but it was like really small. I was in the shower and I looked at my bicep, and I looked up close, and there was some little tiny white kind of dots, but they were so kind of small and not noticeable really. But it looked. I just took note of it, like, and I would say maybe if you came off melanotan for like a week or a week or two, for some reason, you might notice some of that, some of those little white dots. But I'm not sure. I'm just when I noticed it, it was quite. It wasn't noticeable. Like, no, you'd have to look very close to notice it. Yeah, okay, I'm rambling on a bit now. So yeah, that's it really. If you've any other particular questions or anything to ask, just message me or send a video response or something. Okay, thanks.